Today we are going to be going through Call of Duty by Call of Duty, starting at COD 4 Modern Warfare and making our way through all the other Call of Duties, of course, ending off with the newest Call of Duty, that being Vanguard. Now what we're going to be doing along the way is trying to figure out what is the worst thing about each of these individual Call of Duty games, and of course I'll be giving you what I think is the worst one. But of course, feel free to go along with me as we go through this and leave your own list down in the comment section and see how it compares to mine and what I think was the worst thing about these individual Call of Duty games. But with all that said, let's not waste any more time and jump right into this worst thing about every Call of Duty game. COD 4 Modern Warfare, the juggernaut slash stopping power meta. So I may not have played a ton of Modern Warfare in my days, but from the little I played it, I could tell the worst thing about this game, and it is definitely this meta between these two perks. Like, why? Who let this continue to be a thing? Like, it's just the worst. It was just use one of these two things or you're not gonna have fun. World at War. It's multiplayer just being Modern Warfare except in a World War II settings. Now some people don't really remember this too much, but if you look back at any old review from when this game originally came out, that was a common criticism thrown at this game, and it was kind of true. Now personally, I don't think that it is detrimental to the game because the game could still be fun even though it's reusing a lot of things from a previous game, but at the same time I think that out of the very few things we could complain about World at War, that this one has to be the worst. Modern Warfare 2 Spec Ops. So before I get into this, I'm going to ask the Modern Warfare 2 boys to take off their rose-tinted nostalgia glasses and listen to me real quick. Spec Ops sucked, it has always sucked, it's never been good, and in fact, it's actually offensive to think that this is what Infinity Ward thought could compete with the Zombies game mode that was introduced in the game previous to it at World at War. Like, what? Are you kidding me? You really thought this was going to compete with it? Something that has completely unique gameplay mechanics and completely unique maps, and in this instead, you're just going to play against waves of bots and you're going to play against them on just multiplayer maps or portions of campaign missions. Like, what? And I do understand there's some unique things you could do with this, but then at that point it just feels like a campaign mission, so I just don't really know what is good about this game mode. Black Ops, the random annoying mini bosses from every Zombies map. So yes, this one is cheating a little bit, but dang, it is definitely the thing that annoys me the most about this game. Like, every map in this game had some annoying mini boss. Kino had the Nova Crawlers, 5 had the Pentagon Thief, Ascension had the monkeys that steal perks, Call of the Dead had George Romero, Shangri-La had the monkeys that steal power-ups, and Moon had the astronauts that stole your perks. Like, every single map just had to have something incredibly annoying, and I don't understand why. Modern Warfare 3, the fact that it's just a copy-pasted Modern Warfare 2. I mean, let's be honest here, these games look nearly identical. They were probably made on the exact same engine, and if there were any changes to that engine, they would be incredibly minor. And honestly, if it wasn't for the new maps and a couple new guns, you probably weren't going to be able to tell the difference between these two games because they look that similar. And you guys don't have to take my word for it. I mean, look at this Modern Warfare 3 gameplay on screen now. Like, what is significantly different between this gameplay and how it looks compared to Modern Warfare 2? And to all the Modern Warfare 3 stands who think they're pointing out little things about the gameplay they see on screen to say, yeah, this is why it's Modern Warfare 3, you're actually an idiot, because this whole time it's been Modern Warfare 2 gameplay, and my point is made. Black Ops 2 Transit. So originally I wanted to say Transit and Die Rise, but I guess I would have been cheating a little too much, so we're not going to do that. But for me to explain why I think Transit is the worst thing about this game, I think would be a waste of time, because everyone knows Transit is the worst Zombies map of all time, or at least very close to the worst. But I honestly think it's viewed even worse than it actually is sometimes because of the contrast in the Zombie season. I mean, think about it. We started off with Transit and freaking Die Rise, right? Not a great start, but then it turns around for the absolute best, and we get bangers like Mob of the Dead, Buried, and Origins. Are you kidding me? So when you look at the contrast between how the season started and how it ended, it really makes those first two maps look even worse. Call of Duty Ghost. Now, there's many things I could say about this game: the fast time to kill, the maps being absolutely trash, some of the guns being a little bit OP, or whatever it may be. There's a lot of things you could say about this, but I'm going to go on a personal gripe instead of anything that actually matters, and I'm going to say Stonehaven. Who thought this was a good idea? How did this get past your brain and into a thought that was spread to multiple other people, and then those other people thought it was also a good idea to also make this? Like, how did that happen? This map was so big, and it didn't play to literally any play style, and it was just the absolute worst map in Call of Duty multiplayer history. Advanced Warfare supply drops. Yeah, big surprise here. It's supply drops. I know this was the first time it started, wasn't great when it happened, still isn't great today, especially when the fact that some of the things you would get out of the supply drops were stat changing variants of guns. Not great, and was only made worse by later in time that they actually added in full guns to supply drops, so not a great thing. Black Ops 3 supply drops once again, and I hate to just repeat myself, but yeah, this was still the worst thing about this Call of Duty game, and personally I feel like Black Ops 3 might have even been worse than Advanced Warfare supply drops, because I felt like I just couldn't get any of the DLC guns through these supply drops, whereas in Advanced Warfare I had all of the good variants by the time I was Master Prestige. But in Black Ops 3 I think I got maybe one DLC gun, but literally nothing else. Infinite Warfare. You know the drill, say it with me: supply drops. And yes, they are still the worst part of Call of Duty throughout this entire time, but I want to add a little something different this time to not repeat too much. But what this little hot take I want to say is that I actually think that Infinite Warfare had the most egregious supply drop system out of any of them. And that may be surprising to some people, because a lot of people like to say Black Ops 3 and even Advanced Warfare were worse, but no, I actually think this one was worse, because not only do we have variants, and on top of that streak variants, and then unique guns in those supply drops, but kind of backpedaling back to those variants, there was something special about them that we'd never seen before or since. And what that is that they locked unique abilities to those variants, whether that be XP, akimbo without any attachments, or anything like that. But the worst one out of all of them definitely has to be the fact that you could not drop a tactical nuke in this game unless you were running the correct variant, and that was just the worst. World War II supply drops again, but I could spend time on supply drops, but instead I just want to give you guys a little bonus thing, like the second worst thing about this game, and that is the multiplayer divisions. So those were terrible. I mean, the overhaul made them slightly better, but oh my gosh, at launch, oh my gosh, they were the worst thing to ever happen. Like, this may be one of, if not the worst gameplay decision that was ever made in Call of Duty's multiplayer history. Black Ops 4, believe it or not supply drops actually. Yes, this one was the last Call of Duty game to have supply drops, but I actually don't think that was the worst thing about this game. And instead what it is that the fact that the zombies game mode launched broken. What even, dude? What even? How do you launch broken? I'm dropping freaking $60 on this game and it don't even work. Are you kidding me? Like, that is just some unacceptable stuff. Like, sure, the supply drops are completely manipulative and egregious and just kind of evil, but this one is just like unacceptable. You just can't be doing stuff like this when people are paying premium price for a AAA game and one of the game modes just doesn't work. Modern Warfare 2019, just the effing camp fest that this game was. Like, oh my gosh, this game was the absolute worst. And I know saying camping is a little broad here because there are so many gameplay decisions that were made in order to make it this way, whether it be the maps being made, in the developers' words, very porous, and leaving players in the maps little areas that you could get used to the game in and stuff like that, or it be that they remove the red dots from the mini map, or the footsteps are so freaking loud and there is no perk to counter that. Of course, there's the field upgrade that's dead silence, but that is activated for a limited time. And all of these and other decisions that were made this just the most camp fest Call of Duty of all time, and it was a humongous turnoff for me. And in fact, it was one of the only Call of Duties that I ever just quit playing. Black Ops Cold War, dropping with only 8 maps at launch. Now, I do understand what Treyarch had to do in order to get this game out. They had to take over development for Sledgehammer Games, and they only had a year and a half to make the game, and I understand all that. But at the end of the day, I can only judge the game by the final product that we got. And that final product only had 8 multiplayer maps at launch, and that is the opposite of what we like to call acceptable. Like, what even is this? This is just an abomination. The fact that they dropped with this little multiplayer content, and it blows my mind that Activision forced them to release this game and would be that unwilling to delay the game. And honestly, all it did was drag a Treyarch's name through the mud like Activision's been doing for so freaking long. Call of Duty Vanguard, whatever this abomination that they call a zombies game mode is. And that's about it for this video. I love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on this one. Do you guys agree with what I said? Disagree? Let me know down in the comment section. And also, tell me how you would apply the worst parts of each of these games also in the comments. But either way, that's going to wrap it up for me. If you guys did enjoy the video and you want to see maybe a counter to this, maybe the best things about every Call of Duty game, then of course show this video some love, like, subscribe, bell, share, and all that great stuff so I can know that you guys want to see more of this. But regardless, that's going to wrap it up for me, and I'll catch you guys in the next stream, video, or whatever the heck it may be, and laters, guys.